All right.
It's time.
It's time for the E612 show.
That's
Thank
right.
you for tuning in. It's 612 somewhere,
Sit back, relax,
so you know what that means.
or take notes.
It's time for the E612 show.
That's right.
We got a good one for you. Don't go anywhere.
We got guests. Remember, if we're on the same side, that means that somebody else is in the
Someone's
building.
here.
And we can't tell you who yet. You'll have to wait. Or fast forward. It's 612. Woo!
Oh,
Guys, be quiet. Guys, be quiet.
settle down.
Quiet.
Settle down.
They're excited because we have guests today. They're not used to it.
Welcome to the E612 show. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're on. We're glad you're a part. We got a great show for you. Mm-hmm. The topic of the day is...
Peanut butter and jelly. See, I'm just saying that so they'll keep listening.
Topic of the day is...
Home buying process. I didn't know if you wanted me to be for real or mess around still. Do you want for real or what are we doing?
Messed around at least with twice. It could.
Well, I was debating on telling a story, and then I thought, well, that story's going to take too long, so just never mind. So,
all right.
anyways,
Well,
the home buying process.
The home buying process. So sit back
and
relax.
maybe peanut butter and jelly later. Get a snack.
Well, you can have peanut butter and jelly in your new home.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Well, if you pay a lot,
good-
you might be
that's a
having to
good
eat
late-night
peanut butter and
snack.
jelly for a while.
We got the guy.
Depends on
for
if you have a good lender or
We got
not.
the guy for you. He'll help you out.
That's right. Did you ever put peanut butter and jelly with potato chips inside the
That
sandwich?
sounds terrible.
What? I used to do that when I was a kid. Seriously, you never tried it?
Sour cream and onion chips.
No, just like regular Lay's chips. Why would you put sour cream and onion with strawberry jelly? That's probably why you didn't like it. You had the wrong chips.
I would never do that. First of all,
Why? You
Because
get crunchy.
don't add salty with. Sweet.
Okay, but do you like
No.
the crunchy peanut butter?
Like those McDonald's sandwiches that came out. The
McGriddles.
Oh, ugh.
That's because you don't like sweet and savory together.
It's not good.
I learned that every time I make a new recipe, and you're like, I don't know why I don't like this.
Nothing can touch.
Because that's how you talk.
Even though I pick a little bit of each thing, but nothing can touch on the plate. And you can't eat your
I know.
pancakes or waffles
know.
or French toast or crepes or
With your breakfast?
yeah.
You have to eat it afterwards?
It's dessert.
I don't think so. I think our guests are like, I want to weigh in, but I can't because I wasn't. So we better come on with the show with it.
Well, before we do Warrior Nation, let's do it.
All right, let's go.
We repeat after me. Say, I am.
I am
somebody.
somebody.
I am.
a
warrior.
A warrior.
Therefore, you.
Woo! Glitching.
Hold on, let's scratch that.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's do it again.
Go.
Repeat after me. Say, I am.
I am
somebody.
somebody.
I am.
am
a warrior.
a warrior.
Therefore, I am.
Therefore, I am
victorious.
victorious.
And that's because I am.
And that's because I am
a child of God.
a child of God.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So we are so excited. Obviously, the crowd in this place is so excited to continue this series that we didn't even know we kind of started the last episode. We've had great feedback from the show that we did with a local legend, is what we like to call him, Jeff Burke, real estate agent. I think he wanted you to do that button, Jeff Burke. Jeff Burke in the house. What a great episode to learn about buying and selling a home. What a concept. I think that they forgot to teach us, or maybe purposely didn't teach us in school.
They didn't teach us much in school, did they?
They might have taught you a lot, and maybe, I don't know, you weren't listening. You were like a class clown, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
This has not changed. So we created a series of episodes, kind of like a storyline, right? To walk you through the home buying process in a way that's hopefully entertaining and fun, but most importantly, informative.
Hopefully you'll be able to buy a new home.
Yeah, or at least have
and eat
a
a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at night in it.
at least have a plan, right? So for those of you that have not listened to our episode with Jeff Burke, you have to go back.
Listen.
Check
it out.
And this is kind of the next step in the process, so to speak. So, Jeff, great having you back. For those that don't know, Jeff, what are your credentials? Introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Glad to have you back.
I love to extend the series out here and bring this knowledge to everybody. So, real estate going on 29 years. Used to own a brokerage. We have a big team. We service about 3/4 of the state of Michigan, and service that with people and agents and stuff throughout. Sold at a high level, about 1,200 plus homes in the last 5-6 years alone.
There's a lot of houses.
Average realtor sells 4 a year. Yeah,
four a year, and you guys sell 1,200.
It's kind of crazy to think about that statistic, but
Wow.
That's 1.1 million realtors, right? For that. So so we sell a pretty high level and love it. So
that's why we asked you to be on, because you know a little bit. You've been in the business a little bit.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Been in the trenches.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for coming back on.
Thanks for having me.
Nobody has been a repeat guest. So you win the prize for that.
Yeah.
Jeff Burke and Associates.
There you go.
There's an EV car out in the parking lot. It's yours.
Coming at you.
Coming at you.
Well, that voice, who was just that voice right there. Come on, brother. Let us know who you are, why you're here.
He's
and
like, I
what
don't know
kind
why
of
I'm here.
wisdom
What is
you have
this?
for us today?
Well, my name is Eloy Martinez Jr. I have to preface Jr. because there's another one out there somewhere. Probably more than that. But I'm with Citywide Home Mortgage. I've been doing mortgages for 25 years. I know I don't look it. I barely look.
You started
20.
when you were 5?
I did. I came out with a
Crazy.
rattle and it said like I lend money.
And a pen.
Right. So Jeff asked me to be a part of this, and I love helping people. I love to educate them and just help them know some of the pitfalls that they can avoid. Because I mean, let's face it, buying a home is probably the biggest decision that people make these days.
And it's intimidating too,
So,
Yeah. And I think people don't even realize you can actually be paying less for your mortgage than you do for rent. But it's
Absolutely.
just kind of the whole process is intimidating. They don't know about it, or they don't really know where to start. And so that's kind of the reason why we're doing this episode, is to basically, I think some people are like, do I start with an agent? Do I start with a lender? How, where do I begin? And I think it's kind of great because you guys essentially, I didn't even know that. So you've been in the business 29 years and you've been 25 years?
25 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So
when did you guys start working together?
Yeah, that's a great
How long?
question.
How long ago
well,
was it?
at least the last 20 years. I mean, I wasn't too
Yeah.
long in my tenure of getting started that I got connected. I met Jeff along with a slew of other agents and other lenders. When I got in, and I got in. Somebody might say by chance. I want to say by calling. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was doing sales at that time, and I was actually calling on an office, and the guy I met, he's like, "You don't want to do cell phone sales. You want to come work for me."
Was it Jeff?
No, it was actually probably the same guy, Joel Hansen. He lives in California now, but he took me under his wing, kind of showed me the business,
Cool.
To get me broke in, and then from there it went from different opportunities at banks, and then other mortgage banker, national lenders throughout my tenure.
So then how did you guys get to meet each other? Do you remember how you guys met?
Well,
just like mutual?
I think
or?
it was through Joel.
Yeah,
right?
through Joel.
Okay.
Probably some mixers out there that you
Yep.
get,
Yeah.
There's a women's council, there's different mixed
chambers.
chambers,
Yeah.
just different events that the community is small, right? So once
Yeah.
you start lending, you start meeting the people
Kinda
who are
know.
doing business, and Jeff was out of the gate. I mean, he had his face plastered all over
He still
bus
does.
benches, right?
He
He
still
probably still does, but it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to talk to that guy,
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
when you're, when you're getting new in the business, you want to try to connect with as many people as you can.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that I connected with Jeff. He's been a good resource, a good friend over the years.
That's cool.
So what do you do? What do you do?
I'm a mortgage loan officer, so I'm actually a branch manager with Citywide. But yes, I originate loans, all types of loans, conventional, FHA, VA. I'm a VA specialized
Cool.
loan officer. USDA. We work with all the down payment assistance programs that are out there right now, just to help buyers kind of turn over every leaf to see what can help them get into a home.
So, as you said, this guy showed you the ropes.
He did. He showed me the ropes, kind of the lingo. At that time when I was getting in, and people were refinancing, so you kind of you get your feet wet and like understanding some of the language.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what made you want to do this? Like actually as a
I didn't know. I was into sales, right? That was
Yeah.
just my story. I love people. I mean, I always was good with numbers.
Yeah.
Kind of growing up. I mean, I could literally rub two coins together, two quarters together, and come up with 75 cents. we're like, well, how do you get 75 cents out of 2 quarters? Well, one happened to be a 50-cent piece, and that's another story. So I'm just good. I was good with numbers, right? Believe it or not, I still remember my ex-girlfriend from high school. I still remember her phone number. I don't even know why. The numbers just always stood with me. And so it was just, I think it was a God thing. He was preparing me for something different. Like in this business, like much like Jeff, we don't clock in and we get $50,000 a year. There's no paid salary.
Right.
We eat what we kill, so to speak. It's all commission based and relationship based, and the opportunity is to grow, to scale your business, and the more people you help, the more that comes in. But if you're not out doing there, making those right decisions, meeting the right people, helping the right people, then then you're not going to get very far. So I think that was important, just to meet the right connections, and like I said, God was preparing me. Because I do some other things aside from mortgages. I'm into ministry, much like your guys' self. And I think, you have to have a level of faith. I think he was preparing me for something different. So in this business, we need some faith, to be able to navigate people. Because you're dealing with emotions. You're dealing with different stories and different strategies. So, I think that's how I got into it. I think if somebody were to get in it today, if I were to recommend somebody, you probably want to cut your teeth at like a local credit union or a bank. Somewhere where you're getting a small salary, you're learning the stuff, and then then you go get your license and you get under a seasoned loan officer and maybe kind of learn a little bit more of the strategies. Because at the end of the day, it's about relationships. Some people are trusting you with their biggest decision,
right?
So they want to make sure that you know what you're doing. You just didn't get your license yesterday, and you don't know exactly how to avoid some of the pitfalls that are out there.
Sure. So then you kind of touched on it a little bit, but if somebody's listening and they say, oh, I work at a credit union already, or I work at a bank, and I'd really like to do something different, and that kind of seems like a career path I would want to take. What, you said they get their license. What does that look like? Is that just like a class they take online? Like, is it a couple years?
Yeah, well, it's a class you can take online. You can take, it doesn't take years, but you want to study and get that kind of vernacular under your belt. And as you become familiar with the terms in the mortgage industry, with like the 1003, which is the application, learning the debt to income ratios, that kind of thing, to be able to kind of formulate and strategize things. And I think you get to learn that when you don't have the pressure of commissions. Like, what am I going to do if I don't close these deals? You get in an institution that are giving you leads. They're servicing their own people, so you get to kind of build yourself in that atmosphere. So I think once somebody has kind of paid their dues, so to speak, and gotten some knowledge, I think then they can venture out, maybe become a loan officer assistant, get with a national recognized company where they may, have a little more compensation or opportunities to have some additional compensations based on the production. So
does your company give you sort of like a number, a budget of, okay, this is how much we can essentially lend this year?
No.
Okay.
No.
So then what if, I guess this might be the harder end of your business, of somebody that knows you and they're like, oh, Eloy, he's, mortgage lender. I'm going to ask him, and, he's a man of faith and I know him from church or something like that. And they ask you, and then you can't make the numbers work. Like, that's probably a harder part of your business, right? Of I really want to help you, but I don't know, this isn't. Yeah.
I mean, those conversations are hard, but there's nothing more than being transparent. You got to show them why these are the numbers, these are the factors that aren't allowing us to move forward.
Yeah.
But here's the steps you can take to get there, and we'll get there. I mean, I counseled people. One of Jeff's agents, Dave, we had a buyer that just needed to get their stuff correct, and he was the guy I think was in the building. He was so he had 1099 income, so we had to strategize stuff in that time frame. He had to get his credit in line.
Sure.
And it took us a year, but they did what they needed to do, and we got them to the finish line.
Well, that's why I liked having you guys on the show, because I feel like Jeff, as an agent, he has sort of a coachable or teachable, heart of actually teaching people through the process. And then sounds like you do as well, with, okay, maybe not now, but here's the steps that you have to take. And I think a lot of people just don't know, right? Okay, right. I know I need to clean up my credit. What does that look like? Or how much do I need to actually save? Or, these questions that they don't know how to get to A to Z, but at least you're kind of, oh wait, not just, nope, sorry, we can't. It's good luck. You know what I mean? Sure. Hope you figure it out. You know.
And that's it. Okay, let's do this. Let's go there.
Yeah.
Dumb it down for me.
Yeah.
How do I? Where do I begin? I'm a new lucky go get 'em type of guy who's ready to buy a home. What do I do? What's the process?
So real quick. So for me, right? Because a lot of times buyers will hit like an ad or a Google pay-per-click or something out there to, they're searching for a property, just looking, starting
sure.
the process, right? And so the first conversation is, where you at? Have you been to a lender? Where you at in the process? That type of thing. And a lot of people, what I find is that they feel like their credit is worse than what it may be, right?
Yeah.
Because if they were late with a payment, well, the creditors aren't like, they're not sending them off to, the credit report, as far as reporting their way. So I always say it's like, let me get them over to a trusted lender, right? That can help you where you're at today. And if you're able to qualify, then great. If not, then Eloy's amazing at laying out the strategy to get you where it's like, okay, you need 3 months, you need 6 months, you need a year. This is what you need to do to get there to home ownership, right? So the fear I feel for buyers, and correct me, Eloy, right, is that they don't know what they don't know, right? And so let's get them to the professional. I always say it's like I stay in my lane. I do real estate, and I rely heavily on my partners because Eloy's an extension of me, right? And just as much as, I'm an extension for Eloy on any referral, right?
Yeah.
So let's get you to the right people that can give you the right guidance to put you to, so you define where you're at today and what you need to do either tomorrow or the next day to get you right for home ownership.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll let you, Eloy, take the rest.
Well, I mean, there's just so many things accessible at our fingertips. Everybody's got our phone, right? You're clicking on, I think if you're a young homeowner, you're hitting realtor.com.
You're looking at Zillow.
You're looking at Zillow. And you're like, man, I love this house. I want to go see it.
Yeah.
They don't even think that, can I afford it? I just want to go see it.
Of course.
And it wasn't until maybe a couple years ago where I think agents would go show stuff and in good faith and stuff. But I think there was that whole kind of legislation thing where buyers need to be pre-approved or you can't go look
Show
at a
them.
home, right?
Yeah.
Which makes all the sense because you guys are driving around, the agents are driving around.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody works for free, right?
Yeah.
So I think people just need to
You shouldn't even
understand.
be looking at the door.
Exactly.
Let alone the house.
Exactly. So I
Yeah.
think those who are excited, they need if they can get with an agent first, at least. Hey, I want to look at this home. It looks like my family would benefit from it.
Right.
Great, that sounds great, Joe. Let me get you to a guy who I can trust that will help you see what we can do as far as your financial landscape, and that's where Jeff would come in and recommend me, and then we look at stuff. But I think just culture, people want to go see the house and they forget about,
course.
hey, can I afford this? Or
Well,
what's that
especially
look like?
after they watch HGTV and they see
man.
like a teacher salary and an unemployed husband, and you go to look at millions of dollars and you don't know the numbers and you're like, how can they? You don't think about how they can afford it, but you see homes and then I think you get
Because it's TV.
you get emotionally involved too, right? And then
For
you
sure.
fall in love with the home, and then I think especially as women, it's like everything is compared to that house that we couldn't afford and we really want now. We don't even want to look at other houses because we only want that one, right?
Right.
And so it's smart enough to start with a pre-approval. And can you explain, because I know people have asked questions like what, and we talked about it a little bit on the last episode, but what is like pre-approval versus like actually being approved?
Okay. There might be, if you like say, there might be 3 steps. So there's actually something called a pre-qual.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be like somebody came in, somebody ran the credit, and they're like, yeah, it looks like if you're telling me you make 60 grand in your credit, it looks like you can make this. Here.
Like a big picture.
Yeah. Here.
Okay.
That's a pre-qual. That's a guess.
Yeah.
Pre-qual.
That's a pre-qual, right?
We're learning the lingo.
It sounds like a fancy dish.
Yeah. Exactly. Pre-qualification.
It's like
They
an
call it pre-qual.
appetizer
That's right.
to your home.
So
Talk in terms we know.
Right. And then we'd have a pre-approval. Like I work with pre-approvals because I want to get my eyes on actual numbers. I mean, no offense to any buyers out there.
Sure.
Everybody, when you round things up, I mean, it all comes down to the numbers. So I need to know accurate numbers.
Right.
I want to see pay stubs. I need to see W-2s. I need to see what kind of hours were worked on a year-to-date basis.
How about bank
right?
account statements? You
Bank
need to see
accounts,
that yet?
I want
Okay.
to see at least the last 2 months worth.
Yeah.
I want to see documentation. So when I'm given a pre-approval letter, I've reviewed those documents.
Yeah.
And so that I think a buyer can put an offer more confidently because they've had the loan officer review that.
Okay.
The next step would be a credit approved. That means, man, my credit's marginal. The loan officer, I'm not an underwriter. I do my best, but I don't have the final say. You're so marginal. Let's send all your documentation into the underwriter, and that might take a week, just depending on volume and whatnot. But let's have them credit approve you. Now the underwriter, they've looked at the assets, they've
Yep.
looked at credit. They're like, hey, this buyer, we can make it work. Now go find the home. Now
Yeah.
you know your max ceiling. As long as the
And so they
numbers
tell
say,
you how much
they tell you,
you're
yeah,
approved for.
you're
Yeah.
approved. As long as you stay under
Yep.
200,000,
Yep.
no more than 4,000 in taxes, whatever
Yeah.
the parameters they set, you find that checklist, you're good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now and it kind of speeds the process up because we've underwritten them as a buyer. Now they just need appraisal and title to come in satisfactory.
Yeah.
Then we can move stuff to closing.
Well, and
So-
so I think too, when you're looking at a home, and that's where Jeff would come in. Like if somebody's looking at houses with Jeff and he's already been pre-approved through Eloy, then when you write the offer, you have that PDF of the pre-approval letter, so that when they're looking at offers, because right now it's like a multiple offer situation, right? The way the market is, and so they know that you are for sure approved, because sometimes that's just even the first, like let's say you get 10 offers and that's like the first, okay, these two don't have pre-approval letters. How do I really know that they're really approved? That's like out. Right. And so that's kind of help you go through the process. I don't know how involved you are in your social media, but you had a great post today that talked about how to win
Very involved.
multiple, very involved.
Very ball.
Yes,
Shoot
that looks
everyone.
great. But you had a post about, one of the ways that you can win multiple offers.
Yep.
And one of the was talking about, to be like fully underwritten.
Yep.
And how important that is, right? When you're writing offers and looking at homes.
When I present multiple offers to my sellers, if I have, like you said, two, I don't have pre-approvals, they're not offers to me.
Yep.
They're too much of a risk.
Yep.
Right. One of the nice things that I love about Eloy and why we've done so much business over the last 20 years is because I know there's no gray.
Yeah.
His yes is a yes, his no is a no.
Yeah.
It's a green or red. There's no yellow.
Yep.
Right. And the connection that we have as far as he'll call me to tell me exactly how I need to structure an offer to win. Right. And so there's no guesswork.
That's cool.
So this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
They need closing costs. You need whatever. This is how you need to structure it. Any agent out there should be asking their lender those things. So that way, when they are competing, they
Yeah.
know how to compete
That's
to
good.
win, right? For that. So,
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Cool. And you guys have worked together for 20 some years, so you kind of know probably
Yeah.
each
Yeah.
other. And I think the other thing too is like using local lenders. Like I know that that's been a thing as well of, sometimes even when it comes down to two offers, they're literally the same. Everything is kind of pretty much the same. The only thing that's going to set us apart is like one is not a local lender and one is, somewhere local, which people just tend to use that as an excuse, right? Like, well, we accepted the local offer. So it is nice to work with like a local, agent and that kind of thing too. I think that wins out when you're looking
I've
at
had that
multiple
very
offers.
story. Just because they've seen my name on the pre-approval letter, they knew that my yes is yes, no
Yeah.
is no. And they know my rep. I mean, I'll have those hard conversations, and I'll have them early on. Sometimes things happen, and you can't avoid them.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. This is a prolonged stuff that come through the process, whether it's the buyer or on the appraisal side, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You got to hit those things head on because together as a team, collectively, we can find out the solution to get it through.
I always say it's like bad news never gets better with time,
Yeah.
right? You got to deal with it, move on.
Yeah.
Right? It is what it is.
Yep.
It's never bad news. It's the way how you deliver it and when.
Yeah.
In your timing.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Cool.
So you are the
I'm the money man.
end all be all.
I was like, where are you going with that?
Do you make the decision to say, hey, this is yes?
I don't make the decision. I'm the gateway, but I'm a very good gateway. Like
Discern of whether you're
I'm the nurse practitioner. Then the doctor gets
Yeah.
to review it. Like
Yeah.
the underwriter's gonna essentially underwrite the file to the
Okay.
guidelines of
Okay.
our investor.
Yeah.
They have the final say. But I have a pretty good knack on stuff. And as loan officers, we have the tools to automatically send the file to those automated underwriting dishes and engines that kind of help the actual underwriter. So there's tools that we go along the way to make sure that we're on the straight path, so to speak.
so to make it make sense.
So be nice to Eloy.
I'm going to buy a house. I see Jeff, and Jeff sends me to Eloy. Is that the process here?
Yep. Typically, that's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I did have a couple people reach out and ask questions. There's two questions that they wanted to know, and maybe you can explain kind of the two. And they're sort of lingo, right, in the mortgage world. One of them is they pay a high interest on their house, or they have an ARM, and they want to know what is like refinance. What's the process to refinance? Like if they wanted to refinance.
So if they want to refinance,
Mm-hmm.
basically they're going to pay off the note that they have, and it's all going to depend on the equity, right? Like if they bought their home a year or two ago, I don't know if the equity will be there unless they
Sure.
put a good chunk down, right?
Sure.
But if they're in it 5 years, 7 years, and now if the value's increased, then yeah, we can look at, as long as the equity's there to complete that refinance to get them locked in a fixed rate. Maybe that's where they needed. Maybe the ARM at the point of sale helped them to
Made
get into the
sense.
home, right?
Yeah.
And now they just want to get down into a fixed position.
But it costs kind of like around a couple grand, right? It still does cost some sort of money to refinance.
It does, and the costs to refinance are very similar to a purchase, believe it or not. The
Okay.
only thing is that on a refinance you can roll those costs in.
Okay.
Like on a purchase, everything's driven from the purchase contract, right? So the numbers are solid. We
Yep.
can't roll in costs unless there's, unless they're inflating the price, so to speak, where the seller's giving back some concessions.
Yeah.
That's that kind of maneuver.
Yeah.
But in a refinance, we can roll in those costs typically, and so people they don't feel the pressure of the out-of-pocket expense.
Yeah.
And then they get the benefit from the result of the final payment, right? They're dropping their the payment $100, $200 a month, whatever
Yeah.
the case may be.
But there's also some programs too, right? There, I mean, depending on which state you're listening in, but there are some programs that can kind of help maybe first-time buyers or
For
help.
sure.
Okay.
I mean, we have at least a couple that come to mind here in our local town. I mean,
Yeah.
MISTA is the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. They do the whole state of Michigan, and
Mm-hmm.
they assist with up to 10,000. And it's not a forgivable loan. There's been so many myths out there. Hey, it's forgivable after
Yeah.
7 years. It's forgivable.
Yeah.
MISTA on the record, it's not a forgivable.
Yeah.
Not their main product. They had a product back when it was, but it's not.
Yeah.
And what that means is that anytime you refinance or sell a home, then whatever funds you use has to be paid back to MISTA.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but right now there's another Ingham County, and I would encourage people who are listening, if you live in Ingham County, I mean, they're helping out with $30,000.
Wow.
And that one is forgivable after 7 years.
Now, is that just first-time home buyers?
It's actually, it can be even a repeat buyer. They
Okay.
just can't own real estate at the time of application.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Right.
So, like, if they bought, let's say, 15 years ago, and now they're renting.
Right.
They'd be able to qualify.
Yeah, even if
Okay.
they bought 2 years ago, but they're renting.
Okay,
right?
cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Cool. The other question that I had somebody talk about is they wanted to have the explanation of escrow.
Escrow. So the escrows are basically where the lender is collecting a pot of money, so to speak, for future taxes and insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So at closing, the first year of homeowners insurance is paid the whole first year,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're gonna collect like 3 months to begin a cushion,
Like in a pot,
in a
so to
pot,
speak.
right? So to speak.
Okay.
It's an account. It's non-interest bearing, so the lenders aren't making any money on it. It's just it's to help the client
Mm-hmm. To pull from.
that they can just know that they make their payment, it covers everything.
Yeah.
So the escrow's there really for a benefit to help people just kind of pay all in one and know that everything's being covered.
Okay.
Now in the state of Michigan, we can only have so much in an escrow account. So
Okay.
at closing, we're collecting whatever the policy for the homeowners is. We're collecting 3 months of that. So you basically take, here's a quick calculation, take the year annual premium divided by 12, and we're taking 3 months of that.
Yep.
And then for taxes, there's 2 taxes in Michigan, and there's a winter and a summer. So we're taking, depending on when we close, a certain amount of
Sometimes it
months.
just feels like we're just having a winter here.
A winter.
Winter and 2 months of summer.
right. No doubt.
I should only have to pay one of those things.
So we're collecting that just to set up for
Mm-hmm.
future. And the things that happen is that depending on when somebody buys a home, and Jeff can speak to this, there's just people that buy homes that were non-homestead because maybe they were a rental
Sure.
or whatever, and so the taxes are at a higher
They're
level.
different.
And when somebody becomes a homeowner, now they can have the homestead credit. So the taxes
Okay.
can fluctuate, right?
Yeah.
The escrow, you might get a letter from the lender say, hey, your escrows are short. So you can either pay the $1,000 that's short, or we're going to take that $1,000 divided by 12, and that's going to increase your payment.
So even if you
whatever.
have a fixed payment, you can still get a letter saying, hey,
yeah.
it's going to go up
For
you
sure.
know, $200 a month or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
The loan itself won't, because it's fixed.
Yeah.
The only things that would ever change your total payment would be either if your insurance went up because you had a claim, or if it went down, that'd be great, right? Or taxes, same thing if they go up or down. Those are the only 2 components that can change
Okay.
your.
That's
Yeah,
good.
one of the
monthly
things that I always say, it's like when I'm working with buyers, I'm always looking at the taxes, right? Because it will change with the sale of the property.
Yeah.
So where is it currently assessed at the taxable value,
Mm-hmm.
and where will it reset once you buy it.
And can then
right?
afford it.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like today's taxes will not be tomorrow's taxes.
Yeah.
Right? And agents need to educate their buyers as much as the lenders need to
Yeah.
educate. So we have our, a lot of times we'll rely on our lenders to say, hey, can you run the taxes so they have a, a good number in mind, so they're not getting the love letter, as I call it,
Yeah.
in the mail a year later saying, hey, you need to pay either $1,000 extra or bump up your payment $800 or $89.99, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
$90 a month to offset this. I might have been off on my math there, but we'll see.
It's all right.
Rain Man math.
We know what you meant.
Yeah. So it's eyes wide open from
Yeah.
the very beginning.
Yeah, no, that's good. And that's what I'm saying. When you look for, I always say a financial advisor or a real estate agent or even a mortgage lender, you want people like you that have a heart kind of for ministry. Eloy, you said it earlier, sort of for ministry, that you care about people, that you want to coach them through. And a lot of your business is word of mouth. So like, if you're like, oh, you can't make it, sorry, good luck. Well, when they are ready, they're probably not going to reach back out to you. But if you're walking alongside of them, holding their hand and, hey, let's get this debt out and let's, you need X amount saved up or whatever, and you're actually helping them kind of learn through the process, they're more apt to not only use you or come back to you when they're ready, but also tell their friends, tell their family, and that's the best marketing because it's number one, free.
Right.
Number two, people are going to, I see it all over Facebook all the time. Hey, does anybody know a da-da-da? And they're always asking for recommendations. And you could just Google it, but people don't really care. They want to know who their, neighbor used or who their best friend used or whatever, or somebody at church, And I think that's probably the key to your business is just to do good business,
Right.
Yeah. It'll pay off later. So
Are there any mistakes that people make in the
never,
lending process?
never.
They're perfect. I wish I could say it was so. I would say the common mistakes would be to go out and open more credit, get some more debt, because that throws everything off. I literally had somebody before closing.
It's gotta be frustrating.
Before
They're
closing,
like, I'm in the clear.
Yeah, we were. I'm not kidding. We were clear to close.
Wow.
Right, we were clear to close. We scheduled the closing out for a week. Within that time, they went out and bought this whole
truck.
They bought a furniture set. I don't know, maybe
Well,
our
they
van
needed
had
it for their new house.
Well, I get that. I can appreciate that,
Get
but
the house
0%. It was 0%.
exactly it was. But see, as a lender, we get a credit inquiry.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, did you get new debt? Well, yeah, I bought a whole new living room set. Well, it's 0%. I know, but now we got to calculate a payment for that, and now that payment blows things out of the water. Like,
So what happened? Did
they actually had to return that stuff.
Wow.
We had to postpone closing to get that.
They're
kind
like,
of
we'll be
wrinkle
back
undone,
for this in a
and
week.
we closed. But so that's the biggest.
so
I think it's just
frustrating.
they didn't know. Nobody told them.
Yeah.
And I try to tell my clients all the time, hey, don't quit working.
Yeah.
Don't open new credit.
Yeah.
And if anything, stay in communication with me. If you think something's iffy, let me know.
Yeah.
Because then I can help.
That's good.
I can help you kind of navigate it. If you're gonna make any deposits, don't.
Yeah.
Let me help you quarterback some of these decisions.
Sure.
But and I actually had somebody that quit their job. Same story. Clear to close. They quit their job with the state and they were gonna be an entrepreneur and start this. I was like, you need now 2 years of income, and that deal didn't close. And that was that
Never closed.
It never closed.
Wow.
No.
Should have went to ask for their job back.
You think, the clear to close, like you're in the clear to do whatever you
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
They can pull that right the day of,
Oh no.
and it can kill the deal, right? I have the same thing, right? We've had it to where they bought, trucks, brand new trucks, and it's like, welcome to your new home. It's horrible, right? And they've had to
You're gonna live in your
sell
truck
the
now.
car or do whatever.
Yeah.
It's just not good. So,
Buy a bed, put it in
Put it in the
truck.
back.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
But
they might have to.
Get a cab.
Something.
get a camper or whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
get a
gosh.
camper for on top.
Yeah.
So didn't go through. So what do you mean? So when they buy something, you get flagged, or if they do something like that, you get flagged.
Yeah, because we're always monitoring their credit. Like we're not pulling their credit score,
Yeah.
but we're monitoring any inquiries.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they could have said, yeah, it was just an inquiry, nothing came about.
Yeah.
Somebody could be shady like that, but
Yeah.
they were honest. They told us, no, we bought this, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, now we need this, and when we got that, it didn't make sense. The numbers were not working, so
Yeah.
they had to return that.
That was some good furniture.
I think some lazy boy
Leather.
there. That's
It's
right.
pleather.
Leather.
Yeah, it was nice.
But I would say if they can just stay in communications. I know they don't think about that. You're out making decisions. But I would encourage, if you're in the home journey, stay in communications on all facets. Even if
Yeah.
you think, if you have that little doubt, ask your agent,
Yeah.
ask your mortgage professional, because we want to help you get
Sure.
to the end and keep it smooth.
You're not
right?
there to stop the fun.
Yeah, no, and even, I mean, me as a realtor helping the buyer, I'm always telling them, guys, don't go buy anything. Don't
Yeah,
go buy anything.
yeah.
Don't do anything. If you do, you're thinking about doing it, right? Hey, they got this great sale. It's only this weekend only.
course.
Call Eloy.
Yeah.
Call Eloy. What it's
Just
going to be?
check.
Is this going to be okay? Because the debt to income ratios go change
Yeah.
Yeah.
by that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
They were probably just buying you like a thank you gift for their agent.
Yeah, I wish. A whole new set?
Yeah,
I love it.
there
I
you
will
go.
take that all day long. New
Unless it's for
furniture
me,
downstairs.
then you can buy it.
Yep. Buy me the vehicle. I'm good with that.
Sorry, you
So,
don't have a house, but I got a nice new
Yeah.
couch. So if we have listeners that, let's say they haven't even thought about, like, oh, I'm just renting, my nose to the grind. I haven't even thought about looking for a house.
Renting
or-
is expensive these days,
yeah.
isn't it?
No,
It
boy.
It is expensive.
Yeah,
it is.
it really
Yeah.
is. And so if they say, you know what, I'm going to write a goal for, a year. I just want to see. Now, is that something that they could just like call you up and just say, hey, here's my info. This is all that my credit, my whatever. And can you help me sort of make a plan of, can I do it in 5 years? Can I do it in 3 years? And sort of like a step-by-step, because I think that's one of the things, that's why I love like Ramsey so much and, different financial information, because we weren't taught that in school. Of like an actual plan of, right? Like a lot of people don't know where to start. So is that even something that you could help with if they're like, what do I do? Do I pay this off? Do I save this up? Do I, where do I go from here?
Absolutely. I think if they know they're planning on wanting to get a home within the next 12 months, it's good to know where you're at. I
Yeah.
mean, I provide a soft pull service, so we're not affecting their credit
Okay.
initially, and I get to all three scores, which is very helpful to have all three
So
scores.
then you have an idea.
So then we get to peek behind the curtain, so to
Yep.
speak, and kind of know what's there. And as long as they keep business as usual or improve, as maybe I would advise, hey, do this and this and that, then they're going to be fine when that time comes.
Yeah.
But at least we'll know going ahead, and they might not even know it. They may be qualifiable that day.
Yeah.
And they may be like, wait, dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't know. They're paying rent, right?
Right.
They're making somebody else's
Yes.
mortgage
Yeah.
payment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
that monthly payment over
Yeah.
the next 5 years, and you just help that landlord,
Yep.
buy
Buy a new boat.
whatever, which is great. I
Yeah.
mean, kudos to the landlord, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
if you're renting, that's the beauty of our, where we're at. We have the ability to own a home.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not impossible.
And I'll say too, right? Because when I'm talking with buyers, it's like I kick them over. So if they're like, "Hey, I'm 6 months out, I'm a year out," well, let me have you talk to our lender,
Yep.
right? Because let's see where you're at today, because you might be able to qualify, for a mortgage today.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be saving up money,
Sure.
but the reality is how much are you trying to save in the year? How long is it going to take you to do that? And then what happens if the interest rates go up 0.5%
Yeah.
or whatnot? That it went up 3% in 1 year, right? So it can wipe out all of your savings, what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
You could have bought a home for no money down
Yeah.
and qualified today
Yeah.
and then had the equity gain in that home,
Yeah.
right? Because, at that time you're getting 15% appreciation. You buy it at 200,000, you got 15%,
Yeah.
$50,000
Yep.
in appreciation. So
Yep.
when you're trying to save up money, is it truly the best way to go, or should I buy now and get the equity and then that's for savings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So connecting with a real estate professional, connecting with a great, mortgage lender to help guide you, to where you want to be, your end all be all goal, starts with the first call.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's good too, because sometimes I think people they think they're worse than they are,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Like you said earlier,
Yep.
you're like, oh, my credit, or I had this late payment and I'm probably not, but let's just see. Or you think you're really great. And then, Eloy does the softball and he's like, I don't know. So I think it is a good way just to kind of get the conversation out there, and just really see what could the payments be? You never know. You could be paying way less for, like you were saying, way less for something that's actually going to be yours.
For sure.
And not somebody else's.
And I think a little good nugget that I think so many buyers, they or people that they may have access to their credit union app or Credit Karma, and they're like, man, I'm a 680.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, those platforms aren't what a mortgage reporting. There's a different algorithm in the mortgage credit report versus the consumer like credit cards.
Sure.
So they may think they're at a higher score when they're not.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's the importance of them talking
Reaching
to
out
us,
to you, yeah.
so we can know what their mortgage
Yep.
credit score is, because it's typically not on par with
Yeah.
Credit Karma. And
Yeah.
then they get bummed, but there's no bum. We just got to know what we don't know so we can guide you in the right way.
Yeah.
So earlier is better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
call today.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause
Today, 517-202-9904. Again,
If you call now, he'll throw in
That's
a free towel, golf towel
There
with
it is.
Citywide home mortgage on it. No, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any stories kind of that come to mind that you want to share? I know you shared one about the furniture, and they kind of was going to stop the clear to close. But is there any other stories or any other tidbits that you want to share about, what can people do? Where can they start? I know we talked about, reach out, but is there anything else that you wanted to share before we kind of wind it down here on the E612 show?
I just want to encourage people, I guess, to really connect with, stay in connection. If you find a house you like, Jeff's listed it or he has it, he's going to refer you to, the partners that he's partnered with, and they're going to do you a great job, because you need to know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And I know that some, and Jeff can't control all his clients, but I remember a situation, you had a veteran that just went to somewhere where he thought they knew and they just weren't very expressive, and just like, no, I got my guy.
Yeah.
And I think we closed this, we went from a one lender to a different lender, which I was the different lender, and I think we helped that veteran to close within like 11 or 12 days.
That's awesome.
But we had to do it quickly because he was already burned a can on the front side, but he probably didn't know all the stuff that Jeff was, trying to instruct him with. But sometimes you can't, you can't control all those situations. But I think if you can place some trust in your agent and the partners that they're partnered with, trust that, because there is some synergy. There's the way that they do business that makes it more, it makes it a better experience. Yeah. And not to say that somebody can't, I want to use my credit union because I've been with them for 20 years. They may have not even ever done a deal with Jeff.
Yeah.
And sometimes those unknowns, they are what they are.
Sure.
But you're always going to have the best experiences in the spheres that where Jeff, has a little more.
But only where Jeff and Eloy are.
Only where Jeff
in their spheres
that's
do you have the
option.
best magical experience, guaranteed.
That's right.
Anything we're missing? Anything that with the process of this that we haven't spoke about before we come to a close, my man?
Well, I think one of the things that came to me in my mind, and I was gonna, ask Eloy the question you asked him as far as like how soon, right, to do it. But like Eloy, like you alluded to, it was like a lot of people go online and they just get like a portal and they get anybody,
Right.
That'll call them that might maybe paying to be there, right?
Yeah.
For the lending side as much as for the real estate side,
Yep.
right? So like ZillowRealtor.com, stuff like that. They have people that are agents that are paying to be there. So if you click on a house, you're going to get bombarded by 6 to 10 lenders and realtors and stuff like that, right? We just talked about that, right? So, I know on our site, it's a private site, not a public facing site, right? So when you're on there, you're not bombarded by lenders, realtors,
And
stuff
what site
like that.
are you referring to?
My website, JeffBurkeAssociates.com, right?
JeffBurkeAssociates.com.
So,
Okay.
So you get on there. Yes, you're going to get a phone call. Yes, you're going to get a text message. Yes, you're going to get an email. But you're going to get, like, we're reaching out to
Your
see how we
team.
can help you.
Yeah.
Right? Not bombard you. Hey, you're not ready now. Stuff
Robocalls.
like that.
Yeah.
We just want to know where you're at today
Yeah.
and how we can help you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good.
I would say it doesn't matter to me if we buy in a day, a week, a year, 10 years. We're in the business.
Yeah.
Right? For that, but let's get you off the public facing sites, keep it on the private so you don't get harassed.
Yeah.
And you can search freely.
Yeah.
Right? Just as much on the lending side, let's get you to a trusted, advisor and professional that can help guide you to get you where you want to be.
Yeah.
And make sure that, like you said, like, okay, something might be on your credit that you don't even know about.
Yeah.
Right?
Or maybe you paid off a long time ago, but it's still there.
And it's still posting
Yeah.
as a negative deal or whatever.
Yeah.
Eloy puts his eyeballs on it and says, hey, we need to get this off, tell you
Yep.
exactly how to do it. And then your credit score goes through the roof. Now you're able to qualify.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good.
So it's who you work with matters. One call matters. right?
Yeah.
And just get with a trusted advisor and a professional.
Yeah.
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 That's good.
And what was your information again, Jeff? Besides the website, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah. So, I mean, on my Instagram, Jeff Burke and Associates.
Okay.
Like you can do there. You can DM me there.
Okay.
You can text me 517-204-3311. Eloy, I think, gave his real number.
Yeah, good job.
I think
Yep,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
Now, do you-
865-309.
We
so.
do. We do have some business owners that listen. Do you do commercial, or you would kind of send them to a commercial lender?
Yeah, I would refer them to a commercial. I don't. That's a little
But
bit
in
different
with your
animal.
company, right?
No, I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know that I have inside our company that does the commercial.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do commercial as well. So if
Okay.
somebody needs a good commercial,
Yeah.
deal, you probably have them as well. But they can,
Reach out
I
to
can
you.
help them as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
867-5309.
What are your handles again? Where can we find you, Eli?
I think they can find me at on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Eloy Mortgage Pro. So
Ooh,
at
TikTok.
Eloy Mortgage Pro, you can find me on TikTok, LinkedIn if you're doing that kind of thing, Instagram, Facebook, and
Or Google you.
you can Google review or ask ChatGPT. Hey, who's a good loan
Who's
officer?
the best?
Who speaks Spanish?
And then it'll be
I
like,
should come up in the top 5. I think. Sí hablo español, sí.
Oh,
Si hay gente
yeah.
allá que les puedo ayudar, pues de seguro aquí estoy para servirles.
That's for our international listeners. Oh,
listen,
yeah.
Listen, we didn't get into scripture or word today, but man, we got we got a class today on how to get started in buying a home by two men of faith.
Two men in the home buying process.
Yeah, and so great. Thank
Great
you
episode.
for being here.
Hey, thanks for having
Great
me.
episode. Looking forward to buying a home after this is over.
Right now.
Right now.
We're going
Let's
to
do
check if we're approved.
it. Hopefully we can.
Pass. Thank you guys so much for
You've
being
been
on. We
listening to the
appreciate it.
E612 show. Warrior out.